Well, you've likely heard of Alzheimer's disease, or you may even know someone with the condition. In this segment, sponsored by Primary Care Plus, Dr. Joseph Romito joins us to discuss the early symptoms and how you can lower your risk. Good morning, doctor. All right, so tell me, what is Alzheimer's disease?
So Alzheimer's disease is a type of dementia, which is a change in cognitive function affecting things like memory, task planning, word finding, ability to communicate, as well as just the overall kind of management of your brain function.
Gotcha. Now, you mentioned that it's a type of dementia. So is dementia kind of the overarching umbrella and Alzheimer's is just one of the types?
That's correct. So
Okay.
dementia's the overarching umbrella term, and Alzheimer's is a type of dementia.
Okay, so if somebody, you know, a lot of us have aging parents, maybe we're looking to them, and maybe they're starting to decline a little bit, but we want to know if it's to the point that they need to see a doctor about it.
Sure.
What are the early signs to know?
So that's true, and that's a concern. Sometimes, you know, there is that interaction there. So things that you're going to want to be on the lookout for would be word finding difficulty, getting lost in familiar places, difficulty learning new tasks that should be fairly simple, but they just can't get them. Misremembering things that just happened, things along that line. And that's when it's important to kind of bring in a specialist or your doctor to really kind of fine tune that situation.
The very first one you mentioned was word finding. What does that mean? Like looking at the newspaper and you can't find a word? Or?
No, so word finding's a term for when you just can't find that word that you're trying to use to communicate.
Okay.
So that tip of the tongue feeling, but you're finding that and it's happening more and more often.
I was about to say that happens to everyone,
Sure.
so don't panic.
That happens to everybody, but if it's happening every conversation, almost every sentence, then that's something that's more concerning.
Okay, and so if you are noticing those symptoms in a loved one or maybe even in yourself and you're concerned, what should you do? What are the next steps if you think you might need to see a doctor about that?
So the first step would be going to your primary care doctor.
Okay.
So talking to them, bringing up your concerns, how often they're happening. Your primary care doctor can do some early baseline testing. And then if they're starting to show some concern, or they just want to be a little conservative about it, they could then get you in with a specialist for more intense testing.
Okay, so if you find out that you or a family member does have Alzheimer's, is there I presume there's no cure?
There is no cure right now, but there are a number of medications that actually can slow the progression of the disease. Okay. So that's why it is important to be on the lookout for these early symptoms, because if you find it and diagnose it, then you could get on a medication that can really slow it down and give you lots of more time at your best.
Yeah, a lot of people, or a lot of different diseases we hear about may not have a cure, but you may have these medications that can slow them down. But in a lot of cases, it's like just prevent it in the first place if you can. Are there some preventative measures we can take?
So the best things we know that seem to improve your chances against things like dementia are, one, living a good lifestyle. That's eating well, that's being active, exercising regularly, and then getting a good night's sleep. 7 to 9 hours is the goal here.
All right.
And then being social. Being in a friend group, getting out, meeting people, those social interactions are amazing for your mental health. And then doing things like puzzles, games, learning new skills, and then protecting your brain, avoiding head injuries. If you're on a bike or on a skateboard or in some kind of adventure park, you don't want anything like a concussion, because that can worsen your risk.
So use all the proper equipment.
All the good equipment,
and
yes.
things like that, and stay in touch with your primary care physician and make sure that you're checking in regularly. Thank you so much, doctor. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Well, hey, Primary Care Plus has 12 clinics across southern Louisiana, 5 clinics right here in the New Orleans area. You can find your nearest location at primarycareplus.com. All right, coming up, it's Workout Wednesday. We're showing you some ways to strengthen your core while sitting in a chair. That's next when NOLA Now returns.